Hello ladies, this is Paula back to start on A Girl in 10,000. Now I just need to let you know up front that this book is spoken for, but we are going to have so much fun with it. I hope you hang around and watch every video. Okay, so I haven't done the spine or anything on this. I thought we would look at the papers because I did change the papers. If you look at this paper behind it, you can see how old the book is. There was not a copyright in the book, but the book is yellowed, and I think it is noticeable. So the book the paper we had originally thought we were going to use, which was beautiful. The gold just didn't go with it. Not a lot of gold like that. And it was just stark white. And I just didn't think with the gold it would look great tea stained as much gold as we had. So I have changed the I'm saying it again. I did change the colors and the papers. I'm going to set some of these papers aside. This isn't all of them. But this is going to be the front page. I'm going to try to put 2 signatures in this book. It has a spine size of 1 1/4. Which this book, because it has this squared off here, I really want to do a hidden spine. So you don't have any fabric over here on the front, because it's just beautiful. Okay, using Mrs. Cogg's yellow in the garden and white in the garden and some of the pink in the garden. So I'm not going to just stick with yellow because we have a lot going on. So I just found this and loved it. I thought it just goes. It's lace and it's the right color. And let me hold the book up so you can see on each of these how well it goes. Okay, so that's going to be the front page of each signature, hopefully 2. And this yellow, it's kind of a brown yellow, but look at this. Is that not crazy? How good that looks? Okay. And then I wanted to put a floral in. It does have a tiny bit of lavender, but it wasn't enough to worry me too much. Okay. And then I wanted to put a text that was vintage looking. See how pretty that is? So pretty. And here we go. This same floral that we had in the yellow, also in the salmon. You know, it's not easy to find a salmon color. And this is going to be the center of the book, if I can make it look right. You can see how cool that the colors are. I probably won't get the whole flower. And over here it says beautiful. And it has some gold in it. It has a few things that have gold in them. But see, it's not going to show, if I center it, it's not going to show the whole flower. But you're going to get the gist of it. Okay, so I have 2 stacks that look identical like that stack. So we're going to cut those to size. And then we'll start on the other paper. How's that? I wanted to show you too, this is a tea-stained eyelet that I just found in some scraps. I do have a whole roll of it, but it's not tea-stained. But look at that. Is that not pretty together? I love it. So we'll have to do something with that. I'm going to move the book out of the way. And we're going to cut this paper, and then I'm going to show you the papers. Oh, my crazy lamp. Let me see if I can move it. We're working on it, but see, it's going to make it a little darker. Okay, I'm going to pull up my chair. get comfy. Let me make sure that you're all in. Oh, see, it's going to be, that's as far back as it will go. So I'll have to kind of, this book measures 7.5 inches by 5 inches. So we're going to do the pages 7 by 4 3/4. That allows a 1/4 of an inch for the top and the bottom of the book and the outside of the book. So that that's going to make a beautiful, it's going to make a beautiful book. Every time I make a new book, I think, I'm going to keep this book. Oh, I'm funny. I haven't even got to the book I bought for Christmas that I haven't even had a chance to show you guys. That I bought a book from one of my subbies. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, now we want this lace. We're going to have to see, but we want this lace in there, but I would love to have some of the brown. So what we might end up doing is doing the brown on the top on this page and see how far, whoops, sorry guys. That was loud. Okay, so if we go down to, can you see the cutter, guys? I'm telling you right now, I feel like I'm outgrowing my space. When I think, my husband and I thought about going to, he went with me to a doctor's appointment to get my injection today. And we talked about running over to one of the little towns and antique shopping. But I don't know where I'd put it. Okay. 7 inches. All right. So we're at 7 inches, which means all of this to the right is not going to be part of the page. I'm thinking. Now, if we did it like this, we'd have nothing but lace. But I really like how it offsets that antique feel. So we're going to do that. Let's go to 7 and changed my blade the other day. Now we're going to use these in the book, but it's going to be pockets and stuff like that. So now we're going to cut. Okay, so we need the width to be, let me figure this up. Got to find my little piece of paper. I can't just do math off the top of my head. I don't know about you guys. So the width of the book is 5 inches minus 1/4. So we've got 4 3/4 times 2. Okay. And that is going to be, whoops, just a second. 8.5. Okay. So we need to go 8.5 here. And we're going to end up, I'm thinking, do we want to center this flower? Let's see where it's going to come down. Maybe we want to do it the other way because you have 2 flowers. Let's see what that looks like. There's this, listen. I know I'm slow, guys. I'm sorry. But it makes a difference to me on how the book looks. I think I liked it the other way because it centered this big flower. Okay. Okay. Cannot mess up doing the cutting because this is all this paper I have. Okay. I'm looking to see, you know, if we've got it the right height, which I think it's pretty close. And then we need to see, oh, that's wrong. What are you thinking, Paula? It's this side. Okay, we do it like this. And now we just cut this one at 8.5. Okay, now, I hope we did it right. But won't this look pretty with some lace on it? I'm going to fold a few of them, but we won't fold them all. Just because I want to make sure I got my measurement right. And plus, the folding just is a waste of video time, and it's boring for you guys just to sit and watch me fold. You can score these if you want, but you don't want to do that with cheaper paper. So there we go. We're going to put the brown on the top. And let's see how that fits. See, by the time you put your lace on here, you want to have this much space, because if you put tabs or whatever. I have cut mine smaller than this and had it down here like this, and it looks very bulky and it doesn't look good. Okay, so this is the right size. So now we can move forward. We've got this first one cut. Now we're going to work on this kind of a yellow orange. Let's see. So we want to do, for the width, I'm looking at the flowers to see which ones I want where. I'm sorry. I want these to be in with the height, which is going to be 7. And I want them in with the width. So, I've got to decide which one side we want to cut off. Let's do here 8.5. We will fold the cardstock, but we won't fold all the other papers. How's that? That way we can kind of get a feel for how it's going to look. So here we have page 2. I'll get my act together in a minute. They fit perfect. Okay, the next page is going to be the kind of a salmon. It's a type of pink on the flowers that are not, and look, here's some yellow. So we've got, and green, which, you know, works out great. Okay, so let's do this part. I'm thinking, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do the 7 first. Nope. Now let's do the 7. And you're probably looking at this thinking, what's the difference? My eye sees it that way. I don't know. Good question. 8.5. This book, listen, I have so many embellishments for this book already, but we are going to make a couple things, but I don't want to overload it. So I've pulled out all of my salmon color ribbons and lace, and I've pulled out all my, let's do this side, because there's a little yellow in there. So let me pull it out and show you. Well, come on, fingers. So far, this is what we've got. And I know my lighting's not perfect, but it's not as dark as it might be showing, unless you can see it better than I realize. So let's do this one at 8.5, because the text runs this way, and we want it to be upright. So then we're going to cut at 7. I love any kind of text paper, but this one is really pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna, I don't know if you've noticed how I've done this. This is kind of how I do. So I start with my favorite, and I end with one of my favorites. And there was 2 in 2 different colors in this book. And I didn't want them to end up together. I didn't want 2 pinks to end up together, 2 browns to end up together. So if you see, this is how I did it. So you want to think about how your paper is lined up, because it makes a difference in how it ends up looking. Okay, so let's do 7 first. Eight and a half. It's the next one that's going to be tricky. Because it's a picture. You know, it's like a big 12 by 12 picture. And if we don't get that to look like we want, we'll figure something out. Because really, we have a lot of pages in here, and we never know until we get started if we're going to have to do away with one. But see, any of these would be pretty as a center. This one would, or this one would. That's just me talking. And this would be perfect because it's not next to this, and the colors will still flow. Normally, I only put 4 to 5, depending on the signature size. So this one, if it doesn't cut up pretty, then it's out of here. My thing is, we've got 12. And so, I think if we took off, let's see, I don't want to take off the beautiful. So let's try to go taking 3 off of each side. That's going to leave us, let's see, 3 off of each side. I'm terrible at math out in my brain. So I can tell you though, that it's probably going to be 5 inches. No, it's going to be 4 inches. So let's try 4 first. It's going to cut off a little bit. That just does, that's too much. I don't have that right. Let's just start like this. If we need to take off more, we'll take off more. But I want to leave the gold in. So I'm just going to cut up right to the gold so that it's straight. Right under the square or rectangle that's over the beautiful. Now listen, I have not read this book. I don't know if the person is beautiful or not. But it doesn't matter because we all have beauty from different areas, right? Okay, so the height would be 7. So, oh, that was probably a good way to cut it, guys. Okay, we're going to lose a little bit of the top of the flower, but I think it's going to turn out. Now, the problem is our page is not that wide. So, let's cut off the beautiful to the very edge, because if we can't do it and keep the beautiful, it wouldn't be so beautiful, because it would be kind of just a big giant flower, and I don't want to do that. Because you really couldn't make out the flower either. But the problem is, let's see where it will land at 8.5. No, see, it's not going to be, I don't know. We could leave off the beautiful and put it somewhere else, and we would get the big flower. Let's do that. And we will use the beautiful on something. Okay, we'll go ahead and cut it out. Now this is going to be, see, I just think that being the 3 colors that's on the book is what I liked about it, because it's kind of a surprise after you look at the other pages and then wham, there it is. Okay, so we fold it the opposite way. Okay, so let's put them together and see what it's going to look like when you flip through. Just, oh, I got that a little big, it looks like. Maybe not. We'll work with it later. I think it's just because of stuffing them inside of each other. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do our vintage lace first. Now we will have pages in between all this, but you get a feel for it. And we'll have pockets. I like it. Now you'll get right here and it will be white, but we'll put some kind of cool paper. And there you go. And I'm going to cut this out. And we'll use it on something else. Now, we're going to start cutting some of the stuff we're going to put in the book. So we've got 8.5, right? For the width of both pages. So this is just some planner paper. And depending, I like to use these tabs. So we're going to keep those in. So we already did 8.5. So we need 7. We'll do it like this. Sometimes I cut this particular one in half. And I think I want, oh, they're both the same. It doesn't matter. So let's fold this one in half. I like to put the tabs at the top or at the bottom. Usually the top so they don't snag on anything. But most of the time I cut this one in half and use the whole thing. But I just liked this one like this for some reason. We don't have any blue in the book, but we have this yellow and we have this salmon color. So there'll be 2 of those. Both signatures will have the same papers. And, oh, that's tea stain. We're not going to do tea stain because we know how to do that. Let's do one of these. These are the printer papers. Now, because we have this one with the notebook edging, let's, we got to decide now, do we want to have the punched area at the top or bottom? Well, it's a good question. So this was 8.5. Now, which side do we like the best? This one or this one? I like this one. So we're going to do this. What am I doing? Nope, I did that wrong. Let me do it this way. No, it's right. It's right. Don't let me scare you. Okay, we're going to cut that end off. So we're going to go to 7. I'm trying to get through this quickly because I did record 2 videos. One prior to this. Because I went to my retreat this weekend. It was lots of fun, and it was fun just to work on something I enjoy. Now these 2 will not be together in the book, but that's how that one turned out. And the next type of paper, and these, like I said, are not the only ones like this. So we've got some high school. I'm just going to trim off this raggedy part. I know, but it's sticking up and I'm afraid it will grab on things. Okay, so let's see how tall that is. We may need it anyway. So let's see where the 7. No, see, it's going to be perfect because it's a little smaller than the 7-inch, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm trying to remember what word I saw in here that I thought beautiful. Right here. See right there? I said that's the side we want to fold. Oh, wait a minute. Did I measure the other end? No, I didn't. Paula, get with it. Okay, so we do have to take a little bit off. So I say it's better to take off the bottom than the top on this particular instance. So we're going to fold this. And this has some yellowed paper. And this is from a primary book. Or, no, it's a high school dictionary. That's where it's from. So it's going to end up like that. And I have some of the papers in the other room to tea stain. So that's why you're only getting to see part of them. But I thought, I got to get started. Got to move along. Okay. So I don't know if we'll keep this raggedy edge or not, but if we can, we will. So let's first cut this way at, see, at 8.5. Okay, now we need 7 inches. And I just really think half of these are missing. So let's just do 7 inches and cut that edge off, because it allows for more journaling. Okay, so now we're going to fold. Well, we weren't, but I guess we are. I've been doing it, haven't I? If I lose you on this video, just so you know, it's because I did two videos and it just can't keep up. But I have cleared my phone, so hopefully. Now this is just some primary paper, but I just love the yellowing and the the whole thing. So let's see. We'll probably have to put it in the, well, we might be able to put it in the book this way. No, it's not quite where it needs to be. So let's I've got 2 pages here. I'm just going to cut them both. There we go. Those 2 are gone. And because I know we have plenty of room there. So the first thing we need to do is we'll probably, let's see, no, we decided we didn't have enough room to do that. Okay, so let's do the 8.5 right here. And I like that when you cut it, it kind of does this little fuzziness right here, which I like. Okay, so now we need to do 7, but I think what we're going to do is take a little bit off of both sides. So let's start with taking a 1/2 inch off. And then we'll take off 1/2 inch off over here and see what we've got left. Because I don't even want to figure it. Hopefully I did that right. Okay, we still have 8.5 here. So now we have just a little bit off. Let's just take it off of this side. Whoops. It's old. It's not crumbly. But I really love that it's, you know, paper was different. It was different in those days. I mean, the feel of it, the whole thing, it was different. Okay, we're going to fold these since we've already got them finished. After this video, I'm going to tea stain the others so that we can move forward. Tomorrow, I will probably do the spine. And if I have time, I will do a video. But if not, it'll be the next day. But I'm only putting one of the videos up that I did today. So you'll have one that day. Look at this. I love that person got a star. How fun is that? This is 1928. See? So we got to keep that on there. We'll just cut as low as we can without cutting that off. Wow, that's close. This is a big piece of music sheet. So we may have to end up cutting some off the other end. Let's do 8.5. But I would rather cut off up here, even though it has this little star and so forth. And I really wanted it to say, I wanted to use this yellow butterfly. Since she's, you know, got a yellow dress on. I don't even know what the story's about. But we're going to cut that off because I'd rather have the copyright on here for whoever enjoys this book. Well, this one's spoken for, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to cut as far over as I can on this one so I can keep the beginning of the music. Okay, now we want to do 7. Yeah, it's going to cut a little bit off, but it's not going to mess with our copyright, so that's cool. And honestly, it's just a fun thing. Okay. there we go. And I'll do the other one later. The last thing I have for us to cut right now is this old ledger. And I put this in the last book that I did for Design Team. And what I ended up doing, I was able to make two pages out of this. So let's cut this 7. This paper is not crumbly, even though it's old. Okay, let's see if we got 7 left. We do, just barely. I mean, it's a tiny bit shorter, but it's not going to matter because they're not going to set together. Okay, and we've got to figure out where, here's 8.5. So we're going to have some to fold over, which is cool. So let me score that real fast. If I can find my score tool. I don't like to score with anything too big or small because, or actually small, because I'm always afraid it's going to cut the vintage papers. So this is where we're going to fold right here. Just do it gently on this old stuff. And then we're going to take it to 4 3/4 because that's the width of a single page, and we're going to score there. So let's see what it looks like, because we're going to set this aside. I've got so much stuff piled over here. I actually did clean my craft room. I didn't dust, but I washed down my table. I feel like that's an accomplishment, right? Okay, so I think we should go this way. Why does that look smaller? Let's see what we did. I have more of this if I need to do a change. Let's see. Getting hung up on my mat here. Let's see what that is. That's 4 3/4. So what I did is I scored this a little smaller. But you know what? It doesn't matter. That's the thing I like about junk journals. You can do whatever you want. It's already scored, and I'd rather go ahead and fold it here than to make it look like it has, like you made a mistake. You know what I mean? So we can do it like this, or we can do it like this. We can decide as we go along. And I say we do that. I'm going to go ahead and score this one before I say goodbye. This one's just a tiny bit shorter. So we know we want to go in at 4 3/4 right here. And then we need to do 4 3/4, right? I don't know how that happened a while ago. But we'll do this one correct, and then we'll have 2 different looks, which is fun to me. Put this, tuck this in. So it'll be a little flip out, and then fold this at this score line. You always want to line up your paper at one end to make sure it's straight across, and then go down, because it should be pretty close to being even everywhere, right? This paper is, I don't even know what it is, but I like it. It's pretty cool. This is perforated, so if you don't like this little flap, you can pull it off. Although I usually glue under here and put a grommet. So there we go. All those are down. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go before I lose you. But it was fun to cut paper with you today, and there'll be more surprises. There's a few things like ledger, and I can't remember what else that I'm adding to the book. So, but I got a tea stain on first. You guys have a good evening. Don't forget to go and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and all that good stuff. And also I'm doing a giveaway. If you want to go to the giveaway video, not this video, but to the giveaway video, and watch it. It's to announce the giveaway. You need to subscribe. You need to give me a thumbs up on the giveaway video, and then you need to go down to the comment area below the video, and at the beginning of your comment you need to type in capital letters giveaway, and then go ahead and request to be entered in the giveaway in lower case. You don't have to do it boldly. All right, guys, you can go and see also, I will show you in that video the book that's being given away, because we've reached 1,000, and actually we're more than 1,050, so we're climbing, and I appreciate you all for subscribing and supporting me. You have no idea. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.